This is where you
Hey,
start.
we're back.
This is where you start the part two.
Part two. Part two. We're back.
On the show.
Eddie, what you got?
All right, so I was watching the game last night.
The game.
The game. The only game that mattered because the Braves were finally on TV. The Braves and Marlins, for those of us in Florida, could watch it. Everyone else must watch America's darling team, the Boston Red Sox, or the Yankees, because they're the only two teams that matter.
I had my two sons up against it. Neither of them two watched it, but I watched it.
Right.
The Phillies against the Red Sox.
Right.
So, great. I'm glad you did. And we were watching the game, and and I have to tell you, for the first time in my life that I can remember, I was bored watching a baseball game.
Really?
It was extremely boring.
And the reason was?
And the reason why is because every pitch is 96, every pitch is 95, 96, 95, 93, 89, 96, 96, 95, 93, 96, 95, 96.
Pitching
89.
change.
No, 89. Strikeout, strikeout, swing for the fence, pop up, strikeout, strikeout, pop up, swing for the fence. No one.
You were watching the Marlins.
And the Braves. And
The
they
Braves
were
did
talking
the
about
same
how
thing.
great the Braves were playing. But the league has become power pitching and swing for the fence. And that's it. No one is a good hitter anymore. There are no good hitters. These guys were
That
talking.
Mookie Betts guy.
Yeah, he's pretty good. Yeah, Mookie Betts is pretty good.
They were talking. Okay, what's he hitting? What's he hitting?
He's leading the league 330 something.
346.
346.
Where's your list?
Where's your list?
Right here, 352.
352.
Freddie Freeman's hitting 323 last night.
Right.
And he goes over. No, he got one hit. He had one hit. So,
Hey, the only guy that didn't go over for like 2 months was Joe DiMaggio.
yeah. I understand.
Everyone else does it.
I understand
Pete Rose
that,
for
but
44 games.
there's this idea that everybody's going up there, even the left-handed guys who are just called up. I mean, the Marlins have three guys that are just called up.
Well, they're
and
only
they're
few
both
players they had. They traded one of them.
They're swinging.
They traded Bohr.
They're swinging out of their cleats
And
trying to hit
Prado
home
and
runs.
Rojas are on the DL now.
Yeah.
So here's my thing: if you watched a football game, and the only play that was run for the offense was 4 vertical routes, and that's the only play you could call. 4 verticals. Come up the huddle. 4 verticals. 4 verticals. 4 verticals.
If the Gators did it?
No, anybody.
No, if the Gators did, I'd be ecstatic. I haven't seen a vertical in like 2 years.
2 years.
But after a while, you'd be like, can we run the ball?
Can you run the ball? Yeah, good call. Good.
Can we just run? After 16 interceptions in 17 passes?
I know, you're absolutely right, but I'll tell you what.
Nobody
if you
bunts.
get a chance, watch Mookie Betts bat.
He's great.
He can flat out.
Nobody freaking bunts
Try saying that real
anymore.
fast. Mookie Betts bat.
Mookie Betts bad.
I'm just saying, I was bored watching the game. And that's sad when a baseball guy's bored watching the game. No, the pitchers lack creativity in getting people out. All they want to do is throw the ball hard. Nobody can throw it on the corners and get somebody out.
How do his rants compare to mine?
No, not as good.
No, yeah, you're a little more.
You've got the Spanish flair going.
Yeah,
the
you got,
Hispanic-
yeah. The Spanish.
You got the
Spanish
Cuban, you got the,
flair.
you got the
flair.
Cuban effort going
The
with it,
Cuban
you know.
effort, that's
And when
good.
your Cuban blood gets hot, it's like your coffee. It's thick and rich and hot.
Talking about hot, July 1. Here's your leading hitters in the major leagues. You got Daniel Murphy hitting 350. You say nobody's hitting. Daniel Murphy's hitting 350.
What's he hitting now?
In the last month and a half.
Oh, in the last month and a half.
I'm just saying these guys are hot like Cuban coffee.
Right.
Christian Yelich hitting 351.
Yeah, it used
There's
to be hard.
Mookie,
Used to be a Marlin.
365.
Yeah.
Really hot.
Yep.
And he was before that as well.
Yep.
But the two guys leading the majors in the last month and a half, batting 368 and 372.
One of the guys is a Brave guy that I never heard of.
I have no idea.
And he probably doesn't have 75 at bats because he's not one of these two.
Oh, the guy. Well, the guy that's they were just talking about him last night, leading the majors since July 1st. So I don't know.
Who is it?
It was the Marlins broadcast crew, so you can't trust anything they say.
That's true. Here we go. One from our very own right here in Gainesville, Florida, University, Santa Fe College.
Well, did you go to UF or Santa Fe College?
He went to Santa Fe College.
Okay.
Malik Smith of
Malik
the Tampa
Smith
Bay
for
Rays.
the Rays?
Batting 372, and Joey Wendell of the Tampa Bay Rays.
Oh,
batting
wow.
368. Is
Yeah.
that a shocker?
That's a shocker.
That's a
that two
shocker.
Rays are leading the league in hitting.
Only since July 1.
Right.
Now they played a bunch of home games inside the dome.
Other people do too.
Nobody plays that many home games in the dome.
They're the Tampa Bay Rays, okay? They had their 2 months where they were pitching well with their little thing,
And then
they leveled off, and now you got a couple of guys. Malik Smith, I've watched him play a little bit. That dude can flat out play.
Yeah.
Johnny Wiggs was writing something the other day on Twitter, and then he was quoted in an article in the paper. They came and talked to him about Malik Smith, and he said the guy was not recruited. Nobody wanted him.
wow.
Is that?
Yeah,
That's pretty good, you know. And it's got to be. I mean, there's a reason why he worked himself into it, and there's a reason why that nobody wanted him and nobody tried to draft him.
But he tweeted yesterday, some guy got called up by Seattle, I want to say, and he is the third Santa Fe Saint in the big leagues right now.
Wow, that's pretty good for Johnny Wiggs. Johnny Wiggs is a good guy. He's a good coach. He's a good man, and he was good. He was a good player when he was here in Florida, and he's done a good job. He stayed there and built a program,
And he's had offers to go other places.
Oh,
and,
no.
I mean,
He stayed.
and he stayed.
he loves what he does, and so, you know, there's the idea of, well, wait a minute, I need to go to a big program, but you know, with the way the rules are, you can get really good players who come to junior colleges who got drafted and didn't like where they got drafted and want to get drafted again the next year.
Right.
So, you know, you can get some talent there to play for you, and it's just a question, can you build consistency? And he's been able to do that.
I'll tell you, one of the guys he has going right now, which is kind of amazing because I saw him growing up, and he was a good athlete, and I never saw him becoming a good baseball player. And now, Shane Edge's son, Brock, and I don't...
Really?
He played with Danny, just graduated a year ago, 2017, went to Santa Fe College, starred. I mean, literally starred, and he was one of two Saints to make the National Junior College Team USA.
Wow.
And they had the tournament, and he went and had a stellar 3 weeks or whatever. The team finished runner-ups in the Junior College World Series or whatever, and it was a Team USA team. And now he'll be coming back for his sophomore year.
Wow.
You know, and the other guy, ironically, is the other guy from his team. They went 1 year and now is going to Auburn or Mississippi State, and they kept saying Mississippi State so and so on the broadcast because I was watching the game. He's never played there a day in his
State
life.
commit, right?
And that's basically what he is. He should be a Santa Fe Saint too. You know?
right.
But because if he wasn't a Santa Fe Saint, he wouldn't have been on the team.
That's
It's the
right.
junior college
That's
team.
Just a junior college team.
But
you know,
he does. He has a great program and 3 guys in the big leagues. Who'd have thought it?
You know, Shane Edge has one of the distinctions, maybe the only one, of the only guy it costs money to play in the NFL.
Really?
Yeah. You should get him to tell that story to you sometime. Shane, you need to come on here and tell that story. I don't want.
Shane might be one of our views. He's a baseball guy.
He's a baseball. I don't want to
Because
tell.
his son, you know,
Yeah, I don't want to tell.
One of the one.
I don't want to tell his story too much, but let's just say
just ran for Columbia County School Board.
that he got called up to be a punter in one game because the punter was hurt, and then he got in a fight and got fined. In the only game he was in it. So
And the fine was higher than
and
the
the fine was higher than what he got. The team pitched in though and then covered it for him. That's what I heard. So
That's
there you
funny
go.
stuff.
So he might be the only guy who lost money by playing in the NFL.
So Harrison Bader, you saw that game last night. He
I saw
was
the
watching
catch.
Braves
Yeah,
and
I was
Marlins.
flicking around and I saw the catch he made, which was unbelievable. Which is a great catch. I mean, go Gators! And you know, he won't be a Rookie of the Year candidate. I don't think, because I don't think he's played enough. But it's nice to see a local guy make good. And the Cardinals, you know, they've won 8 in a row. They're hanging around. Will they be a factor? The NL wild card is much different, obviously, than the AL wild card, which is 3 teams in it. And St. Louis is only 1 game back right now of Philadelphia and Milwaukee.
They're
Right
playing.
there.
They're
That's
playing
6
well.
games. That's 6 games. 6 games.
But that can be made up.
But you got to make up 4 teams. You got to jump 4 teams.
But the Central
You
Division,
got to play 6 games better than 4
the Central
teams.
Division in the National League, though, is up for grabs, I think. I mean, Chicago's there. You got Milwaukee, St. Louis, and Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh, the one guy I hoped the Braves were going to get was Chris Archer. They didn't do it. Pittsburgh got him, and let's see what he does for him down the stretch. But it's going to be fun to watch.
They're
the
9
wild
games
card.
back, right?
Right, but they're 6 out in the wild card, is what I'm saying. And that division,
But they'll have to pass everybody in their division to get there.
Right. Well, they got past in
Basically,
Colorado.
you just have to
They have to pass St. Louis and Milwaukee.
In Colorado, yeah. It's going
They
to be
have
tough.
they have to pass 2 teams in their division to get to the wild card.
And guess what you do at the end of the year? You play
play
the
everyone.
teams in your division.
Right, but
Right.
You
but then you
you're
also
Oakland,
have to
you
play.
beat Houston in 4 games, and you just made up 4 games.
But you also have to pass Colorado and LA in the West.
And they almost are. Look,
Now here,
Oakland.
here.
They passed Seattle, and they've almost caught
No,
Houston.
no, no, no. I'm talking
Nationally.
But I'm saying it's
Nationally.
possible because it just
It is
happened.
possible.
It just happened in the AL West.
The Dodgers are in real
Do
trouble,
you
I
think that those 3 teams out west are all going to falter? LA, Colorado, and Arizona. You think all 3 of them are going to falter? Do you think all 3 of them are going to falter? Yes or no?
They got to play each other.
Do you think they're all going to falter?
If they just play 500 against each other,
Okay, if they play 500 against each other,
the other team's got to play 6 better.
and if in the Central Division all 3 of those teams aren't going to play 500 ball,
If they do,
then it's over.
and those guys play 6 games over 500,
But they won't because they're Pittsburgh and they'll have to play those guys.
because they're Pittsburgh. Right, so those guys will actually play under 500 because Pittsburgh's beating them. These guys play 500 and they're in.
Good luck with that.
The Dodgers, I
No,
think,
it's possible.
well,
but I'll
yeah,
tell you the one
it's
team, and I
possible
want
for
to,
pitch
as
to
far
fly
as
if you
different
give enough
things with
air
the
power.
guys. Okay, who's the Red that wound up getting traded to the Mets a couple years ago? Trade deadline, big trade, playing first base for him.
Jay Bruce.
Jay Bruce.
Jay Bruce?
Jay Bruce has been on the DL, and they've got 1 more year left on his contract. He's coming off the DL now, so
Put him on
they're
the
looking.
waivers.
Did they?
No, why wouldn't you?
Totally, I totally agree. So basically, because I'll tell you why they don't put him on waivers, because no one's going to claim that contract. It's a crazy contract, and the Mets are stuck with it because no one's going to claim him off waivers. But here's the thing I'm reading and everything. So Jay Bruce is coming off the DL, and he just did his rehab, and they're going to activate him.
Let him clear waivers.
Who leads all major and minor league teams in RBIs?
I would guess Bruce.
Total RBIs for this season in professional baseball.
Who?
Between the Binghamton Rodeo Ponies or whatever they are,
Uh-huh.
and the AAA Las Vegas. Okay.
The Reds? The Mets?
No, what player? Who
Oh,
played for those 2 teams? Peter Alonso.
Alonso.
yeah.
Yeah.
Peter Alonso
Yeah.
has 120-something RBIs, which is like 12 more than anyone in all of professional baseball.
So why wouldn't you bring him up and let him have a September
Thank you.
call-up and put Bruce on the...
Or at least just sit there and...
Or are you?
and the
are
re-
you
and
come
the
up
Mets'
with a mystery,
reason is-
mystery illness?
The Mets' reason is because they've still got another year of Bruce.
But why? Why?
Because they're paying him $20 million or $15 million
Cut
for
him.
1 more year. You still got to pay him. So if you're going to pay him, you got to play him, which you don't have to. But basically that's the gist right now with the Mets. They're ready for Peter Alonso, and I had heard or read somewhere that he was ready to be called up, and
Right.
guess who came off the DL?
Bruce. Because he
Boom.
knew he was
There
going to
went-
lose his shot.
There went Alonso's shot at the big leagues.
So...
Now he'll get called up September 1st,
Right, but he won't play.
but Bruce is basically rehabbing because they have so much money tied up in him.
But why wouldn't you let him clear... Why wouldn't you put him on waivers, let him clear waivers, and then have to and
Because then you got to pay him if you release him. You did put. I'm sure they put him on waivers, hoping somebody
They'll
will
pick him up.
pick him, and nobody. He cleared waivers, so they could waive him right now or trade him to any team. But who wants that contract? That's the
who
whole
needs a
point.
first base bat down the stretch?
Well, hopefully they find one, and then the Mets have
Peter Alonso can
in
bring
the big
up.
leagues.
Yeah.
Or you're somebody who's looking
But
and saying, we'll take Peter Alonso from you.
But if they, but if
We'll
they
trade
don't-
you something for Peter Alonso,
Mets top prospect number 6 overall in baseball right now.
which is he's buried though for
He's
another
buried.
year.
He's in
He,
AAA.
he can't play another position.
And he was named. Oh, he was named. And I didn't even know they had this in the Pacific Coast League or wherever it is. They have the defensive players of the month at every position. He won first base defensive player of the month, and that was the biggest of all the home runs and the RBIs. Reading an article on him, he goes, "That is the one thing I have been working on because it's what I needed to work on."
But when
the
you have a
most."
team like the Mets
He's ready.
who are completely apparently dysfunctional,
Why don't you?
Why don't you just do it? I mean, what's it gonna?
$20 million.
$20 million.
Right. I know.
There's 20 million reasons not to.
Right. I understand.
And it's sad.
Yeah.
But that's what you'd be. I would. That would be something that I don't know that we could ever research. The best players who got buried in AAA. and never made it because the Mets
It happened to Roberto Clemente with the Dodgers.
yeah, because the Mets aren't going to trade him.
The Mets aren't going to trade him.
And they're
no,
not,
but that's why the
and-
Rule 5 draft. Once you sign, there's so many years you have to come up.
And who
Or-
was, I'm sorry.
No, you have to be put on the 20, or you have to put him on.
And
the,
who was one of his interpreters in Montreal when Clemente played for the Dodgers?
Was it Tommy Lasorda?
Tommy Lasorda. That's
There you
right
go.
around.
And we'll
Sure,
come
right
back
there.
to Tommy Lasorda. Hey, we're out of time for the day. Hopefully we'll see you guys next week. Get a chance to watch some baseball.
Watch
Maybe
some
it'll be
baseball.
as boring for you as it was for me last night.